All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back. We've got the night number 2 recap of the 2024 Knoxville Nationals ready for you. And tonight was a little bit more what we were kind of expecting out of the Knoxville Raceway. The track, in my opinion, was much better all night long. Obviously, it's very hard to attribute for having 55 cars go out in one single flight for qualifying and expect everybody to, get a decent lap in, a lap that is relatively the same as the guy that went out early. That's not going to really happen very often at any racetrack, right? So qualifying is still something a lot of people are talking about, but the heat races were absolutely fantastic. This last night, there was cars able to come from row 4 after qualifying well and make up a lot of ground and make their way into transfer positions. And we even had a guy go from 8th to the win. So the heat race track was way better. That was something we talked about in yesterday's video, that the heat race track needed to be better for the guys that were coming from the back to make up ground and at least get into, have a chance at a transfer spot. And Knoxville Raceway definitely provided that for them last night. So the feature was really good. At first it looked like, it was going to be hammered down around the bottom at the beginning of the race. Bill Baylog jumped out front. He was really fast. And he's locked into the show on his birthday. So that was really cool to see. But yeah, Baylog jumped out front early, and then Rico got out front, and then with a couple laps to go, Rico was going through 1 and 2 and was running the top, and all of a sudden, I think it was Danny Sams that slid up in front of him, and it just looked really suspicious. Obviously he's not cheating for anybody out there, but man, it was just like the perfect timing for Kyle Larson to sneak by on the bottom and go by him, and then Rico was probably caught off guard a little bit there and not able to rebound and get the lead back. So, but really entertaining race. People in the grandstands were going crazy when Rico passed Baylog and then when Kyle passed Rico. So the fans were into it. The track was good. I just hope we get something similar to that on the Saturday night feature event. The last couple of years, I feel like the Saturday feature hasn't been the most exciting race of the week or anything like that. So hopefully they can get something like that going for us on the finale. So let's take a look at the finishing results from last night's race. We'll talk about who's going to be in Hard Knocks night, who's locked into the show, and who's going to be running the B main on Saturday. So Kyle Larson wins his 4th sprint car race in a row, dating back to, oh boy, I don't even know. Was it? It was Peevely 2 nights, and then here, and then the Capitani, or no, not the Capitani. Oh, the Oskaloosa race, right? So Larson's on a heater right now, 4 wins in a row, wins it from 6th. Rico Abreu and Carson Macedo finished where they started, 2nd and 3rd. Tyler Courtney moved up a couple positions up to the 4th spot after starting in 7th. And his paint scheme is actually starting to come around a little bit. At the beginning of the week when they unveiled Tyler Courtney's paint scheme, I wasn't really a big fan of it, but I think with the polished wheels, I think it really makes it stand out quite a bit compared to everybody else's. Bill Baylog, as we mentioned, led a bunch of laps, led like 12 or 15 laps of this race, and he had Grant Boyum as the crew chief on that car. And Baylog never has a crew chief. Usually it's him. And, I think it was somebody on his family are the guys that work on the car. He never has a crew chief. And last night he did. Grant Boyum, who used to be a crew chief for Aaron Reitzel when they were really fast in 2020. So he was helping out Baylog, and it definitely showed. Darren Pittman was a huge story on the night. Went quick time in qualifying. And it wasn't like he just, was the fastest guy overall and it was whatever. He was fastest by like 3.5 tenths. I mean, the next closest guy in qualifying was like 0.353 or something behind him. Darren Pittman has an absolute thumper under the hood of the Kreitz Racing 69K car, and he ran, 2 perfect laps. 0.3 of a second faster than 55 cars at the Knoxville Nationals does not happen ever. And so Pittman then went 8-1, from 8th to 1st in the heat race, and was looking at a perfect night for the first time since 2017. Was not able to pull off, but an 8-6 run in the feature was really good for him, and not bad for a guy that is semi-retired, right? Brad Sweet finished 7th from the 9th spot, and then Brady Bacon. He goes backward a couple positions, but he obviously started up front, so that means he got a lot of points throughout the night. And Brady Bacon is locked into the feature event at the Knoxville Nationals. I'm guessing that everybody that put their top 24 starters on that post a couple nights ago, they probably did not have Brady Bacon in. So unfortunately, nobody's going to win the Rodman Rundown merchandise whenever it comes out someday. Brady Bacon in the show. Zeb Wise, good run for him, 9th place in the feature. Brian Brown finished up in 10th after starting in 5th, so he backs it up a little bit. Caleb Johnson was really, really solid all night, 14th to 11th in that AL Driveline 58 car. Hunter Schoenberg, also a solid night, finished in 12th. James McFadden was the hard charger, 23rd to 13th. He actually tied as the hard charger for Corey Eliason 24th to 14th. So a lot of passing throughout the feature. The track was really good, and that's what we want to see. Ryan Timms, who wasn't even supposed to be here, was 15th in the feature last night. Tasker Phillips, 16th. Then Danny Sams, Jason Martin, Dusty Zomer. Then you got Landon Crawley, Ayrton Jennison, Mark Dobmeyer, Cap Henry, and Dason Persley would round out the 24-car field in last night's main event. There's definitely a couple names that you're not seeing on the board here that you probably were expecting. One of the main ones is Logan Schuchart. Was not in the show last night, along with a guy like Spencer Baston. And there's a couple more on the board that we're going to talk about here in just a moment that were not able to make their way into the show. Another one was Emerson Axum. And those were 3 guys that I had being in my top 24 feature starters for Saturday, and that was not the case. So let's jump to the middle of the board here and look at our locked-in drivers. Who's going to be starting in the first 8 rows of the Knoxville Nationals? Well, Kyle Larson is going to share the front row with Darren Pittman. And as a race fan, I'm not too excited about that because I'm worried that Kyle Larson is going to lead all 50 laps, and it's not going to be a very exciting race for the lead. But I'm hoping that I'm wrong because Darren Pittman did look strong all night. You know, the feature, he kind of was okay. He was 6th place, but I think if that car starts up front like it did at the Capitani Classic, then I think he could keep pace with Kyle Larson. But we'll have to wait and see. But I'm not too thrilled. Is it wrong for me to say that I'm not like super pumped to see Kyle Larson start on the pole? I'd rather watch him start like 8th and pass cars and get to the front. But he's already going to start there. So Larson and Pittman front row. Tyler Courtney and Carson Macedo will roll off from row number 2. Gio Scelzi. So we talked about him and his points total of 471. He was the high point guy from Wednesday. He gets passed by 4 cars on Thursday. So Kyle Larson had 490 points. He is the high point guy. And then Scelzi from Wednesday was 471. So quite a big difference there in points. Rico Abreu was in 6th. So right there in the first 3 rows, all of those drivers except for one came from the Thursday night portion of the Nationals. Then Brian Brown, he was also on Thursday. He starts 7th. Anthony Macri from 8th. And then on row number 5, you got Brady Bacon. So first ever Knoxville Nationals for him to make the show. Scott Boguski starts 10th. Corey Day and Brent Marks in row 6. Row 7, Bill Baylog making his first ever Knoxville Nationals main event. And Sheldon Hodenshield in 14th position. And then you got Chase Randall and Jacob Allen. So if we look at the drivers that are locked in, you got 1, 2, here we go, 3, 4. You got 5 guys from High Limit. You got how many outlaws? You got 1 outlaw, 2 outlaws, Sheldon. So there's 3, and then Baylog 4. So 4 outlaws, 5 High Limit guys. You got a couple of Knoxville cars in there. You got a retired driver in there. You got a USAC driver in there. So a pretty big mix of drivers that are locked into the show. And obviously, we still need to get 8 more in either tonight or on Saturday. So let's talk about tonight. Tonight's Hard Knocks night. The top 4 drivers in the feature will go to they will start from 21st through 24th in the feature on Saturday. And this is a opportunity for the drivers that had bad luck, or they had a mechanical failure, or they just didn't have a good night. If they can put a good night together here, then they're going to be in the feature for Saturday. So here's a couple drivers that are going to be looking to have a good night. So Aaron Reitzel is one of them. I thought he would maybe be in the B main, but that is not the case for him. Zeb Wise, Kerry Madsen, Tanner Holmes is the guy to be watched for. I mean, he was actually really fast on his prelim night, but he got stuck in a really stacked B main, was not able to transfer out of that. Parker Price Miller also going to be in Hard Knocks night. Danny Dietrich, Buddy Kovoid, remember he lost the transfer to the feature on the last corner to David Gravel. Donnie Schatz and Logan Schuchart. Those 2, if they are not in the top 4 tonight, I will be amazed. Like, they have to be in the top 2 tonight, or top 4 tonight. Donnie Schatz and Logan Schuchart. Spencer Baston, and then all 3 of the McCarls, but, you know, I'm basically pointing out Austin McCarl as he is right there in the points battle for Knoxville Raceway's championship. Justin Henderson, Emerson Axum was not very good at all last night. Hunter Schoenberg, you got Cole Macedo, you got both the Tasker and Sawyer Phillips brothers, Caleb Johnson, Casey Kane, just a couple of the names that are going to be racing on Hard Knocks night. There's going to be about 70-ish cars racing tonight, so about 20 more than what we're used to seeing on the prelim night. So Hard Knocks is always going to be fun, but especially when you get a couple guys like Schuhart, Schatz, Kofoid, and, Reitzel. Those guys are going to have to be fighting for every position to try and make their way into the feature on Saturday. Now, to the far side of the board, the B main. So these cars do not have to race tonight at the Hard Knocks night. They're locked into the first 5 rows of the B main on Saturday. Brad Sweet and Justin Peck from the front row. Matt Jewell and Corey Eliason in row 2. Then you got James McFadden and David Gravel. So Gravel, a lot of people had him tabbed as maybe the guy to win the Nationals. It's going to be tough for him to do that going from the B main. And this B main is not a walk in the park. I mean, Brad Sweet, Justin Peck, they were extremely fast the last 2 nights. McFadden was fast. I think Gravel will get into that top 4, but he's going to have to work for it a little bit for sure. Garrett Williamson, Dusty Zomer, and then Brock Searfoss and Cap Henry. Cap Henry starts 10th in the B main at the Knoxville Nationals, driving a Ohio-based race car that has been winning a lot at Fremont, Attica, and other tracks in Ohio. Was not expecting Cap Henry to be as good as he was last night. Qualified good, made the show out of the B main, and he's got a decent starting spot for the B on Saturday. So those are some of the things to look at as far as Hard Knocks, the B main on Saturday, how everybody finished in this feature from yesterday as well. So yeah, looking forward to Hard Knocks night. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for watching the How Was Your Night videos. Those seem to be doing pretty well. We're going to try and do that again here tonight for Hard Knocks night. And then, then we'll probably do it again on Saturday for the finale as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit subscribe. We just crossed over 2,700 subscribers. Please comment down below. What did you think about last night's feature? What do you think about the locked-in drivers? I'm guessing everybody's brackets are busted after just right there. Brady Bacon, Bill Baylog. I'm guessing not everybody had both of those guys on their list. And comment down below, like I said, hit subscribe, hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you again here soon.